Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at the Lightning Conductor and how we can use it to build content aggregation reports from SharePoint lists, also Microsoft Graph entities such as Planner and Microsoft To Do, and also using search to build content reports as well. So the first thing we're going to do is go through and add the Lightning Conductor onto the page. So we'll go through and add the modern web part onto my modern page here, and we're going to use the quick configuration to get going with a task list rollup first of all. So I'm going to click onto the configure button, and that will launch the quick configuration dialog where we've got some pre-built reports that you may want to use, but you can also jump into the advanced mode once you're very familiar with the Lightning Conductor, and you can go through and build your own granular reports as well. So first of all, what we're going to do is go through and select the tasks from the initial drop down, and that's the type of data that we want to view. And we've got a few different ways of refining that. Again, you can modify these afterwards, but these are just to get you started. So we're going to go through and select the all tasks rather than my tasks or my overdue tasks. And then we're going to also select where that content is going to come from. And again, in the advanced mode, you've got far more granular options as to where this content is going to come from. But I'm going to simply choose the current site and the associated sites, which is going to be the hub that I'm on, plus any other new modern site that is associated with this particular hub. And I'm going to display the results in a grid view. So we'll have that grid view selected, and I'm going to choose the display person avatars as well, so we can see who these tasks are actually assigned to and get in contact with those people if we want to as well. So I'll hit save, and you'll notice that we immediately get the results back, and you can see some of the different conditional formatting and things like that that has been placed on here. So here's the avatar. So when we see who the task is assigned to, we can see who that user is, and we can expand that and go through and see other information about that particular user. We've also got the task status, which is using some conditional formatting in here, so I can see those tasks that are in progress and those that are also completed. And I want to show you how we can do that type of thing using the priority column. So we're going to hit the drop down here and go down to the column settings, and under the formatting for the column settings, we're going to go through and assign our own conditions and our own formatting so that we can highlight the information that is of high priority, low priority, or medium priority. So in here we can go through and set the conditions. So first of all, I'm going to set the priority equals high condition, and I could use a different icon for that. So the icons are fairly subtle and display to the left or to the right of the actual value, or we can also use a foil color, a background color, and also a pill color as well. And I'm going to use the pill color, which is exactly what you see here under the task status. So I could choose the theme color, but I'm going to go through and select a custom color. And you can see some colors in my palette, which is useful, so you can reuse those colors without having to know all the RGB codes or to try to select the color again. So either we can go through and drag the color where we want that color to be, or we can just go through and use one of the recent colors from the bottom there, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to select the red and hit save. And the black on red is not great, so what I'm going to do is also change the fore color for that. So I'm going to go to a custom color, and we're going to choose white. So we've got the white fore color set for that particular condition, and I can go through and add a couple more conditions as well. So let's expand those out, and this one we'll set for normal, and we'll set this one for low, and in here we'll go through and set again a pill color. So we'll once more choose a color here, so we'll have the medium and the white fore color. And then we're going to go through and do a similar thing, but this time we'll use green. Okay, so they are our conditions set. So all we now need to do is hit save, and you can see here we've now got that color formatting coming through and making that content really stand out, so I can see those high priority tasks versus the normal priority and the low priority tasks. You can see there's also some conditional formatting set here for the due date as well, so we can easily spot things like those overdue tasks. Over on the right hand side, we've got the percentage complete. And I'm just going to make this stand out a little bit better as well by using a bit of formatting. But this time we'll delete the condition. I don't want this to be conditional. I'm going to add a data bar, and the maximum value for my percentage column is 1 because it's a decimal column. And we've got the blue bar here, but that's a little bit too bold for my liking. So what we're going to do is just calm that down a little bit. I'll choose a custom color again, and notice how we can take that color right the way down from the theme color, so it's somewhat related. It's a nice little accent, and let's just save that. And you can see here we've now got a data bar going on inside of our view as well. And the other things that we can do from the grid view is, of course, add and remove different columns. So if we wanted to show a column, we can do that. These are all the different task columns that I can go through and add into my report here. So if I did want to see something like the start date column, we can grab that and drop that into the view here as well. And also do things like our data formatting by going here to more settings and clicking on the display format. We can drop that down to a short date. So there's lots of different things that you can do inside this view where you can really build a report that is going to highlight the content and see all of your tasks in one place. So that's our initial view, and what I'm going to do is just name that view. We're going to call this task lists, and I'm then going to go through and add another new view. So this one here is actually going to be from my tasks in Microsoft To Do. So we'll go through and add a Microsoft To Do view, and we'll hit the cog icon, and this time we're going to choose Microsoft To Do lists. So we've grabbed that, and there's a my to-do lists refinement, and we're going to use the Microsoft Graph in order to query this. And again, we could put that in a grid view or even a task view. And the task view is actually one of the built-in JSON views that we have. So we can go through and select that now from the view. So we don't just get to see our task lists, but we also get to see our Microsoft To-Do lists as well in here. And notice how we can also add additional tasks if we want to, so we can give a task name and the date and time that needs to be completed by, and we can also go through and complete the different tasks as well by clicking onto the radio button there. Okay, so that's Microsoft To Do, and another one would be actually Planner. So we can go through and bring in Planner plans. So we'll bring in all the Planner plans from Microsoft Graph again, and I'm also going to use the task view, and let's just name that view Microsoft Planner. Okay, and now you'll see we've got the three views going on, all to do with tasks. So we've got the planner plans coming through, we also have the Microsoft To Do, and we have task lists, all inside the one web part, and I can go through and publish that and see all of that content all in one place, and just simply never lose a task again because they're all inside the same web part instance. And if we wanted to work with those planner plans, notice how we can click into here, so we can reassign tasks if we want to. We can add additional ones again, and once more we can also mark as completed as well as we go through and complete those tasks. All right, so these are all sort of task-related things. What about documents and so on that you may want to aggregate? Well, let's just jump back into the edit mode, and what we'll do is we'll bring up the property pane over on the right-hand side one more time, and in here we can click on to add for another new view, and let's create some document roll-ups. So in here we'll have document libraries. Okay, so again, we can use the quick configuration here. I could go and grab document libraries from perhaps the hub and the associated sites again, display them in a grid view or also in a tile view. We can also have the person avatars showing up against things like the modified by column and the created by column. And yeah, you'll see here now as we go through and republish that page that we now have a document library view, and here's all the documents. And notice how we've got things like the ability to expand and collapse those folders as well that are coming in from those document libraries. So some great features there that we can go through and work with. All right, so back into edit mode. What about documents that maybe not in document libraries but also OneDrive items? Well, we can go and grab those as well. So here's our document library view. Let's go and add a OneDrive view. So there's my OneDrive view, and using the graph, we'll go through and select the drive items, my drive items using the graph, and let's just drop that in, and we can select our OneDrive. So notice these are all the files coming in from our OneDrive, and of course we can go through and add conditional formatting and things like that to those views as well. So that's the type of thing that we can do, and if we want to get into the sort of detail of that, again we can go into the web part properties here, click onto the cog icon and jump into the advanced mode, and you'll see in here we can go through and select the different graph entities and build our graph query. So if we need to change that, we can. Here's some of the different graph entities that we can work with. We can go through and select the columns. You can also create calculated columns, which is actually what this file size is. So notice as we go into there, there's a more complex sort of formatting for the file size, but that's one of the things that you may also want to do. Coming back from there, and you can also get into the display properties as well. And if you notice things like the task list, if we jump into that one, so this is slightly different, so it's using the object model as opposed to graph, but in here we can go through and select where the items are going to come from. So whether they're going to be across different site collections or from the current site or from different lists that we go through and select. And again, we can go through and select the columns that we want to see, and also go through and set the conditional formatting and that type of thing through the advanced configuration as well. Okay, so they're the sort of basic setup features that you've got. And if you want to be able to do that not just inside of SharePoint, but if you wanted to bring your content into Teams as well, then you can also add the Lightning Conductor as a Teams tab, which you can see I've already done here. And this has got a view of documents coming in from document libraries in SharePoint. So if I need to have access to my documents inside of Teams without having to go through to different SharePoint sites all the time in order to find them, we can go through and grab that content from here. All right, so that's a quick intro to the Lightning Conductor. If you do want to set up a demonstration that's specific to your requirements, then please click onto the Arrange a Demo just above where you are on the page here, and I'll be really excited to be able to discuss with you your requirements and set up some examples as to how you can create some content aggregation reports for your business. Okay, many thanks.